And welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to another weekend preview. Coming towards the end of the season now, but still got a lot of Premier League and Championship action. Starting off on Friday with Arsenal versus Everton. The season's just kind of petered out for both sides now. It's very unlikely that they're going to get into Europe. Just kind of a bit of an iffy form for both sides, so just not great on either part, especially considering where Everton were earlier in the season. And I can see Arsenal getting the win here. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on to Saturday's game now, and Liverpool host Newcastle in the lunchtime game. Liverpool in 7th. The season's not totally over yet for them. You kind of do feel though it would be quite a big ask for them to get into the top 4. But you just never can rule this Liverpool side out. We know how good they can be. Newcastle, they're 8 points clear of Fulham now with a game in hand, so I think they're pretty much safe now, just cruising towards the end of the season where I guess they'll make a managerial change. So I can see a Liverpool win here, 2-0. West Ham host Chelsea at the London Stadium. West Ham, they're going okay at the moment. Obviously had that really disappointing loss to Newcastle. But hopefully that was just a minor blip. They did win 2 before that. Chelsea, they weren't great last time out against Brighton, but then they did beat Man City. Obviously still only lost 1 game under Tuchel in the league. So I can see them continuing it here. I'm going to say 1-1, which to be honest would be an okay result. Sheffield United host Brighton in the Premier League on Saturday. And yeah, this is probably one of Paul Heckingbottom's best chance to get a point. He's lost every single game since he took charge. But against the Brighton side, who aren't in great form, just 2 points from the last 3. Although they did pick up a fairly solid point last time out against Chelsea. But I can see Sheffield United getting something from it. I can't see them getting a win because let's face it, they're just not that good. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I can't see it being a classic. Moving on to Sunday's game now, and Wolves host Burnley. Wolves, they're going quite well at the moment, you'd have to say. Won the last 2, but it was against Sheffield United and Fulham, and they only just scraped them. Before that, they weren't in great form. As for Burnley, lost 3 in a row. All it takes is a really good run of form from Fulham or West Brom, and they're suddenly back in it. So it's not over yet, but I can see Wolves picking up another win. I'm going to say a 2-0 home win. Leeds host Manchester United, a game that I'm really looking forward to. Leeds, of course, they're on an absolute great run of form at the moment. Unbeaten in 5, won 3 of those. And Manchester United, they've won 5 in a row. And if it's anything like the game that we got at Old Trafford earlier in the season, then we should be in for a treat. And to be honest, I do think it will be a closer game than that, because there was 4 goals in between it. But I can still see United getting a fairly comfortable win. I'm going to say 2-0 as they continue their top 4 push, which is already secure. But anyway, Aston Villa host West Brom at Villa Park. Villa, they've lost 2 in a row now, and as I keep on saying, they're just not the same side without Jack Grealish. West Brom, however, they've won 2 in a row. I'm filming this before the Leicester game, so it very much could be that they lost their last one. But yeah, it's probably too late for a survival push, and I can see it kind of just being ended here by Villa. I'm going to say 2-0 to the Villains. It finished Leicester. Leicester host Crystal Palace. I've in review mode. But anyway, yeah, Leicester host Crystal Palace. And Leicester, their top 4 place isn't totally secured yet. Lost 2 in a row in the league, so there's still a long way to go. As for Crystal Palace, they're not in great form at the moment. Got walloped last time out by Chelsea, so Leicester will see this as a huge opportunity just to really end any worries of finishing outside the top 4, and I think they'll do that. I'm going to say 1-0 to Leicester. Next up, moving on to the Championship and the Saturday lunchtime game, Brentford versus Bournemouth, and this is a hard one to call. Bournemouth, obviously, they're just on an absolutely incredible run at the moment, won 6 in a row. As for Brentford, they're the draw specialists, and for this game it will probably come down to whether Brentford can stop Bournemouth's incredible attack and whether Ivan Toney can maybe get amongst the goals. But I think it will be a close game, and I can see Bournemouth winning one ending. I'm going to say 1-1. Barnsley host Rotherham at Oakwell. Barnsley, they're of course doing quite well at the moment. Did lose a couple of games ago against Coventry, but obviously picked up that huge win against Huddersfield, and that's pretty much all but secured the playoff spot for them. As for Rotherham, they've lost 3 in a row, and it's starting to not look great in their survival hopes. And with Barnsley and Brentford, their next two, it could look a bit iffy. And I think Barnsley will heap even more misery on them. I'll say 1-0. Blackburn host Huddersfield at Ewood Park. Blackburn, just not great at the moment, is it? I thought they turned a corner against Derby, but it seemed not. Disappointing defeat last time out against Sheffield Wednesday. Huddersfield edged out by Barnsley last time out. So just not too great on either part. But I think it is pretty much season over for both of these sides now. So hopefully we'll just have a fun exhibition game. But I can see Blackburn getting a win here. I'm going to say 1-0. I think just home advantage will edge it for them. Anyway, next up, it is Cardiff versus Wycombe at the Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff, they're going okay at the moment, you could say. 3 draws on the trot, but against decent sides like Reading and Brentford, so not the end of the world. Obviously, Wycombe still fighting after that incredible 2-1 win against Bristol last time out. So yeah, you can't just rule them out yet. But I do think Cardiff will have too much quality here, and I'm going to say a 2-0 home win for Cardiff. Anyway, next up, Coventry host Preston at St Andrews. Coventry, they're 3 wins on the trot now, and they're absolutely flying, to be honest. They're totally safe from relegation. As for Preston, they've definitely picked up under the caretaker manager with really convincing 3-0 win over Derby last time out. They're up to 14th now, which is just solid enough for them, I suppose. But I can see this being quite a close game, and I think it will end up being a draw. I'll say 1 apiece, I think. Anyway, Derby host Birmingham, and Birmingham, after a great run under Lee Bowyer, you probably have to say they're pretty much safe. As for Derby, though, they're most definitely not. 4 points ahead of Rotherham, but with 2 games in hand. At the moment, though, with Sheffield Wednesday also breathing down their necks, you just don't know where the next point's coming from, with how badly they've been playing. Wayne Rooney is beginning to look a bit out of his depth at Derby, so they just can't rule them out yet. But I think this is going to be a draw. I just don't think Derby have the quality to win this, even though they definitely need it. Middlesbrough host Sheffield Wednesday at the Riverside. Middlesbrough, the season's kind of petering out for them. They have been on a bad run of form, but did get that win at Rotherham in midweek. Sheffield Wednesday, however, picks up 4 points from the last 2, but once again, you kind of do feel it's a bit late now. 4 points behind Derby, 3 games to go. It's a big ask, but I suppose you never ever know, really. And I can see them getting beat, however, here. I just think Barrow will just have a bit too much for them, even if they've got nothing to play for. Also 1-0. It finished Forest, I'm doing it again, you see. Forest host Stoke at the City ground. Forest and Stoke, really, they're just kind of dragging themselves towards the end of the season. Neither side in particularly great form, so I can't say I'm particularly looking forward to this game, really. It will probably be a draw, probably be quite a dull draw, but let's say there's going to be a goal or 2. I'll say 1-1, but I can't say I'm particularly looking forward to this. QPR host Norwich at the Keane Prince Foundation Stadium, or Loftus Road. And to be honest, I'm actually quite looking forward to this game. QPR, they're actually doing really well at the moment. 2 wins on the trot against Middlesbrough and Swansea, 2 tough places to go. Norwich, 2 losses on the trot, but they still do need a couple of wins to seal the title, so I think they'll go for it here. QPR in 8th, they will go building some really good momentum for next season, but I do think that will be crushed by Norwich here. I'm going to say a 2-0 win for the Canaries. Watford hosts Millwall in a game where you'd expect Watford to pretty much secure their promotion. 8 points with 3 games to go over Bournemouth, and if it's 7 if Brentford win their game in hand, so it can be all but secured here. In fact, it can be secured if Watford win. I think I'm not the best at maths, but let's say it can be secured if Watford win, which I think it will be. Against the Millwall side, they've nothing to play for. So therefore, I'm going to say 2-0 to Watford. Anyway, moving on, it finished, doing it again, Reading hosts Swansea at the Medeski, and Reading, their season's kind of just petered out. They're relying on Barnsley to drop points, them to go on some run, considering they've only won 1 in 7 and something like that. As for Swansea, they're just not looking too great at the moment either. So for 2 teams, you could kind of say their position is 12th based on current form. I'm going to say 1-1 though. I just can't see overseas side winning with how they're playing at the moment, to be honest. Moving on though, it finished, doing it again, Bristol City host Luton I'm not doing it deliberately, Bristol City host Luton at Ashton Gate, and Bristol City will be looking to avenge that embarrassing defeat at Adams Park, it has to be said, with the last minute goal and all of that. As for Luton, solid-ish point against Reading last time out, but their season has kind of just petered out. As for Bristol City, I think they'll just want to end the season with some pride after a disastrous second half of the season, and I can see them getting a win here. Just some light relief. I'll say 1-0. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Any your thoughts and comments down below. Follow me on Twitter. Link in the description below for daily football news. Subscribe to my channel on the screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.